April 4th, 1987. A sonic boom echoed over the Blue Ridge Mountains as Concorde, yes, that Concorde, touched down in Asheville. The aircraft that had just crossed the Atlantic at Mach 2 was now parked on a relatively small Appalachian runway, flanked by a chain-link fence and a crowd of 5,000 locals. The plane was so ahead of its time, so absolutely out of place, that when a surprise snowstorm brought almost a foot of precipitation, the Concorde was stranded overnight. No other airport on its American tour could say that. It was one fleeting moment when one of the fastest commercial planes in history found itself grounded in a place that wasn't ready for it. Nearly 40 years later, Asheville's airport is chasing a different kind of speed. Not supersonic, but structural. Asheville is the core of a region that now brings in nearly 14 million visitors a year. It's seeing an influx of new residents, growing companies, and a tourism economy now worth almost $3 billion. And its airport, AVL, is handling well over 2 million passengers per year, even after the massive physical and economic destruction that Hurricane Helene caused. To put the area's growth in perspective, just 10 years ago, the airport was handling around 750,000 passengers, nearly a third of what it handled in 2023. AVL is under pressure to become something it's never been before, a serious regional hub specifically built for volume, resilience, and identity. That's the story behind AVL Forward, a $400 million multi-phase expansion that's rebuilding the entire terminal while the airport continues operating around it. You don't shut down your only airport in a growing region. Instead, you build a new one around the old one, layer by layer, structure by structure. In August 2023, the airport held its official groundbreaking ceremony, and construction got underway soon after. Within 3 months, the existing North Concourse was torn down, followed by the demolition of the old ticketing and admin wing. In their place, 2 entirely new structures began rising, designed not just as replacements, but as major upgrades in both capacity and design. What's already been completed is Phase 1. In June 2025, the airport unveiled its new 2-story ticketing hall alongside the rebuilt North Concourse. The ticketing hall now offers a space that's bright, open, and elevated, literally, with high ceilings, ample natural light, and streamlined passenger flows. The full new North Concourse includes an expanded TSA checkpoint capable of processing significantly more passengers per hour, plus a wider array of concessions, improved passenger amenities, and additional boarding gates. These enhancements are designed to reduce bottlenecks, improve the traveler experience, and lay the groundwork for the airport's next phases. More on those to come. Also included is a new freestanding $55 million 127-foot air traffic control tower. The new cab, a 440 square foot workspace atop the tower, will accommodate 3 controllers. Relocating the tower to the west side of the airfield restores unobstructed sightlines that the 62-year-old terminal mounted tower no longer provided, and it frees the south side of the terminal for Phase 2. Once operational, slated for right around when this video releases, the old tower will be demolished to complete the terminal build-out. Phase 2 will more than double the terminal's footprint by 2027. Before the expansion, the original 7-gate terminal covered just 115,000 square feet. Afterward, the new 12-gate facility will span 275,000, a net gain of 160,000 square feet, all calibrated to support up to 4 million passengers a year. And I know I haven't explicitly mentioned it yet, but Phase 2 isn't just about adding gates. On the south side, the old concourse will be torn down to make way for a sweeping 2nd-story concessions plaza, a purpose-built baggage claim hall, and an interlinked lobby that ties both ends of the terminal together. The South Apron expansion wrapped up in 2022, laying the groundwork for this whole sequence. AVL isn't trying to replicate Charlotte or Atlanta. It's engineering a terminal that's right-sized for the region, one that balances throughput, resilience, and a sense of place. It's also for evolving airline route economics. This airport is betting that by building better infrastructure now, it can absorb more traffic and attract more service. With 5 additional gates to come online by the end of the project, AVL's capacity will jump by over 70%, which opens the door to both new routes and potentially lower fares. But before we can try and forecast the impact, it helps to understand who's already flying out of AVL. Today, Allegiant accounts for roughly 43% of all departures, followed by Delta at 18% and American at 11%. The airport's 7 operating gates currently serve a mix of daily, less than daily, and seasonal non-stop routes, shown here on this map. With the extra gates, AVL can introduce more frequency on high-demand sectors, expand into underserved markets, and give carriers the room to compete on price. All of which should translate into more destinations, more choice, and better value for travelers. While the airport hasn't officially announced which routes will come with the expansion, there are some strong possibilities based on regional demand forecasts and airline behavior. Markets like Washington, D.C., Orlando, Minneapolis, Boston, and Miami stand out as likely candidates for expanded service through existing carriers, especially given their growing passenger volumes. Allegiant, which already dominates AVL's traffic, could also introduce additional competing routes to these same destinations. It's also reasonable to expect increased frequencies on high-traffic routes like Charlotte, Atlanta, and Chicago, where additional gate capacity will make scheduling easier. As for entirely new routes, Tampa is a strong contender. There's already steady demand for Florida leisure travel from western North Carolina, and Tampa's own terminal expansion could help support that connection. Nashville could be another possibility, especially with its rising business and cultural links to the region. Longer term, even international routes like Cancun could be in play, though the airport director has stated there are no current plans for international service. Still, AVL's expanded infrastructure makes these kind of connections far more feasible. All of this is speculative, of course, but informed by demand modeling, market data, and how airlines typically respond to expanded infrastructure. Expect official announcements for routes in the coming years. While Asheville travelers won't see their new ticket instantly drop by 20%, the new gates set the stage for more flights, more carriers, and more destinations, all of which puts downward pressure on fares over time. But a good question to ask is, what if another major hurricane hits? When Hurricane Helene struck Asheville in late September 2024, much of the region saw widespread damage: flooded roads, failed bridges, and a downtown overwhelmed by rising waters. But the airport held. AVL remained not only operational, but essential. It became a staging ground for relief efforts, handling increased traffic from mutual aid flights and military support aircraft. That resilience wasn't luck, it was engineered. All critical systems had been installed above historic flood levels. Over 10 inches of rain fell in just 2 days. The French Broad River crested at almost 25 feet. And while much of the surrounding infrastructure buckled, AVL systems did exactly what they were designed to do. Subsurface pumps kept the terminal dry, backup generators kept power running, and most importantly, the necessary sections of the concourse stayed online, serving as a stable base while the region scrambled to respond. This wasn't just a test of infrastructure, it was proof of concept. And as the full AVL Forward expansion moves toward completion, the facility is being built with these risks in mind. In a region where mountain terrain funnels water and extreme weather is no longer rare, AVL is building a terminal designed to stand its ground. What makes the AVL Forward project interesting isn't just what it's building, it's what it represents. There are dozens of regional airports in America trying to figure out how to scale for a future that's arriving faster than anyone expected. AVL has chosen to respond with a design that isn't flashy, but is deeply intentional. Every jet bridge, every drainage pipe, every square foot of glass serves multiple purposes. Move more people, reflect the local identity, and stay operational no matter what. At Buildcore, we're building America, one story at a time. We cover some of the most impressive and headline-grabbing projects and topics across this great country, and with your help, the channel has grown to almost 50,000 subscribers and reached over 10 million people. With that being said, thank you, and I'll see you next time.